Beneath the quiet soil of Utah, United States, lies a world untouched by sunlight. Twisting tunnels, cold stone, humid air, and the echo of one's own breath bouncing between the walls. That is Nutty Putty Cave, once a paradise for explorers and thrill seekers. But for some, this cave is not a place of adventure. It is a final resting place. Hidden among the narrow corridors and mud-coated rocks is a haunting true story, the story of John Edward Jones, a young man full of life and faith, who entered the depths of the earth and never came back out. What was meant to be a joyful family outing turned into a nightmare of helplessness and silence. That night, John's steps into the darkness would lead him toward one of the most heartbreaking cave tragedies ever recorded, a story not just of physical struggle, but of hope, prayer, and the limits of human endurance. Deep underground, courage would meet despair, and the line between survival and surrender would blur forever. It was November 24th, 2009, the eve of Thanksgiving. John Edward Jones, a 26-year-old medical student, had returned to Utah for the holidays. With his wife and small daughter, he planned to spend a few peaceful days visiting family and reliving old memories. That night, John invited his younger brother Josh Jones and several friends to explore Nutty Putty Cave, a place they had visited as children with their father. For John, it wasn't just about adventure, it was nostalgia, a chance to reconnect with his childhood spirit. Around 8 p.m. the group entered the cave with headlamps, ropes, and enthusiasm. Inside, they crawled through tight passages, squeezing and twisting their bodies to move forward. The laughter echoed through the walls, the thrill of discovery was alive. None of them realized that the same laughter would soon fade into fear, and that the countdown to tragedy had already begun. About an hour after entering, John reached a junction that looked familiar. He believed it was the entrance to the passage known as the Birth Canal, one of the cave's most famous and challenging routes, narrow but safe for experienced cavers. Without hesitation, he went in head first, eager to lead the way. But it wasn't the Birth Canal. The passage he had chosen was smaller, steeper, and angled sharply downward. Every inch he moved forward made the space tighter. The air thickened, the walls pressed against his chest, and soon he could barely breathe. After crawling nearly 20 meters, 65 feet, his body stopped moving entirely. Head first, arms pinned to his sides, his chest crushed against stone, John was stuck. He tried to back out, but there was no room to move. In the silence of the earth, with the weight of rock around him, realization struck. He was trapped, deep, alone, and upside down in the dark. Josh heard his brother's frantic cries and immediately called for help. By 11 p.m., rescuers from Utah County Search and Rescue had arrived at the cave. The mission ahead was brutal. John was trapped over 100 meters, 330 feet, from the cave's entrance, down a steep, twisting tunnel barely wide enough for a human body. Rescuers had to crawl headfirst into the narrow shaft, hanging upside down, just to reach him. They rigged a pulley and rope system in hopes of pulling John upward inch by inch. For hours, they talked with him, offering water, air, and encouragement. John remained calm, spoke softly, and even prayed with those who were trying to save him. But each pull only worsened the pain. The rock around him began to crumble, the rope snapped under strain. Every failed attempt drained their strength, but they refused to give up. because to stop meant leaving a man to die alone beneath the ground. Time passed. The air grew colder, thinner. John's voice weakened, his body numbed. Blood no longer flowed properly through his upside-down body. Rescuers could do nothing but talk to him and pray. Then, on November 25, 2009, at 11:56 p.m., after more than 28 hours trapped, John stopped responding. Medical staff confirmed that John Edward Jones had died inside the cave. The news broke everyone's hearts. The rescuers, who had prayed with him for hours, cried silently. They had done everything humanly possible, but nature would not let him go. His body could not be retrieved. Each attempt to free him risked collapsing the cave entirely. After several agonizing days, authorities made a painful decision: to seal Nutty Putty Cave forever, leaving John's body entombed within the rock. Today, Nutty Putty Cave no longer welcomes explorers. Its entrance is sealed with concrete, a permanent tomb and a memorial to John Edward Jones. Yet his story continues to echo through time, a solemn reminder of the risks hidden within the beauty of nature. John is remembered as a cheerful, loving, and faithful man. He left behind a wife, a young daughter, and a baby he would never meet. His story is not only about tragedy, but about faith, courage, and the fragility of life. Now, the cave lies silent, but within that silence lingers the echo of John's final prayers. A plea whispered in darkness, to go home, even if only in peace. And there, deep beneath the cold and endless stone, courage and prayer became one. A timeless message remains: that sometimes, the greatest human journey is accepting that not every path leads to the light. If you like stories like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. More stories are coming to keep you company at night or whenever you've got free time. Wilden Cowman out.